It is still this morning on ITV. It's time now for the second talking point, where we'll be looking at food security and, of course, the implication of UN's unfavorable prediction for Nigeria. And to do this, I have with me Public Affairs Analysis, the Director of Strategy and Programs for Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG, Mr. Smaila Musa. Very good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So, of course, the UN has given Nigeria a heads up concerning food security. In the coming days, if nothing is done, we are going to have, there will be famine. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, with this conflict that we have all over the place in Nigeria now, I mean, it's visible to everyone, visible to the blind that is going to happen. I mean, we're just buying time, because you have a situation where farmers cannot longer go to farm because of crisis all around the place. I mean, either the people rearing the animals cannot do that anymore, or the people who are actually tilling the ground cannot do that anymore. Of course, this is definitely going to happen. It's just a short banker thing that is going to happen.
How did we get to this point?
Well, so many factors actually. I mean, I wish this issue of conflict is actually taken out of it, because the rest of it we can actually deal with it when you talk about proper sensitization, because you have the world has actually gone far in terms of the technologies in farming. We might not have been able to embrace it in this part of the world, but it's an issue of time, with constant sensitization that, look, you need to accept this,
and allocation of resources
of resources to that area. But you see, with this conflict issue now, it has actually put a stop to every other effort you want to make, because when you have a crisis where people in their droves are losing their lives, and now it's even a different thing, because we keep labeling the people who are getting killed as villagers. No, they are not villagers, they are farmers. Let us just call them farmers, because you know that all the villagers we have in Nigeria don't have any other means apart from farming.
Yeah, or maybe fishing or hunting.
So it's still in that same category. It has to do with what to eat. You understand? So really, we should probably be labeling them as farmers. Maybe it will make more sense both to the people and to the government to say, oh, we are actually toiling with something, you understand, with a bomb, because you have farmers that cannot, in droves now, in IDPs. People who are producing food for the country are now in IDPs. What do you expect will happen? And those who are not in IDPs are already doing either Megad or something in the cities. So really, this is actually bound to happen. And I don't see it's coming to an end anytime soon, because it's not like this crisis is coming to an end anytime soon. Because I mean, what is on ground does not indicate that. It rather is now tripling and all of those. So really, it's sad. Because when this whole thing started, I think it started some 2 years ago or something, where we started knowing, I mean, we started feeling the real heat. Was it onions or something? I know something became scarce, and the first thing that came was, oh, okay, because the people who are actually farming that thing at that time, that onions at the time, actually had to switch to another thing. So majorly, I think, and on the part of the government, actually, we have a serious problem of implementations. This country, we're full of ideas. We know how to quickly have a roundtable discussion, how to put up this committee together to find solution to this. The solutions are there all over the place, from one government to the other. I mean, back in the days, we had Operation Feed the Nation, we had a Green Revolution, we have several of them. And I think this government also came up with something about agricultural policy and stuff like that. But you see, implementation is the key. You always start it well, and then it's get abandoned along the way, either for so many reasons. I mean, maybe some people just fritter the money meant for it away, or it's not getting to the real end users. We have several categories of end users. I mean, you can be an end user because your brother is a minister, and then you are collecting it, you are not doing what it's meant for. But the real end users who actually this thing is meant for, who are actually right there in the field, who that is their business, they don't have any other way, they are not getting it. And that's why you find 90% of Nigerian farmers will always cry that government is not coming to their aid. And yet government is feeling about this. We took statistics to say, this number of farmers is what we have in the country. By this X and Y plan, it should get to all of them. And 90% of them are being left out. So really, implementation is a major factor in actually tackling food insecurity in Nigeria. And you see, this is it's just an introduction, really. If nothing is done in the area of security, this is just an introduction to what is about to come.
Yeah, the insecurity is still there.
Yeah.
Let's not shy away from that. Many people, farmers that have encountered them, the trauma is still there.
Yeah.
You may not want to go back. But while we wait for that to be taken care of, there are some areas that is still free. It's still secure for them to till the land. Though it may not be as large as they want to. What can we do to have this issue, to have that small secured portion of land cultivated and we have enough to it?
It's more expensive. We're talking about a whole settlement being displaced. Now you want them to move to another place, a territory they don't know, perhaps the kind of crops that actually their own land is fertile for. It's not, you can't plant it in this other place where they've been displaced to. You understand? So it's a big challenge. There's no way, of course, just like you mentioned, we can't shy away from the insecurity. But you see, talking about the small portion is more expensive because you have to
portion with improved seedling, with improved technology. Can we have very good output?
Well, that means we're not talking about the short-term solution. We're talking about the long run. The long-term solution. Because you see, even let me give you an example. We have silos all around the place. What are they being used for? How many farmers have gotten any seedling? You understand? They are just there for decoration. Year in, year out, the same people, and money is being taken for the same project, and seedlings are not being distributed to the farmers. I can tell you meet any farmer in Nigeria, he tells you he goes to the market to buy his seedlings by himself. So really, there's so much on the part of the government that needs to be done. Because if you're talking about the short-term solution where you say, improve technology, you see, there's that rigidness on the part of the end user to say, no, I'm already used to this. I don't want to even, you understand? So that's why the government will still have to come into this to say you need to give them proper orientation on it. There needs to be constant sensitization to maybe even show them different videos to say, in so and so country, they have a very small land and this is what they produce.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. With this technology, this is what they produce. Even in your own domain, you can get times 10 of what you've been getting. So just try this. And when you give enough incentives for that, people are encouraged to do that, because the fear is, how do I feed if I try this and it doesn't work? So you need to give them some level of assurance to say, try it. If it didn't work, we pay you back your money. Whatever it is that you're supposed to make from this land, it will be given back to you. So that's why it's solely on the table of the government to actually do.
Interesting. So when it comes to the issue of cattle rustling, it's also part of what we consume. Yeah. And you know that in some part of the north it's really a big business. And that is really making some of the herders not to even, take their cattle out. They just want to keep them in one particular place. How do we come out from that?
Well, the cattle rustling, I think, is even being overtaken now. Most of the people who are in the business of cattle rustling are now seeing that, those cattle don't fetch as much money as rustling human beings. So, but
there are those that still have conscience, and there are those who still believe that let's still just continue with the animals rather than the humans.
Yeah, you see, the problem is there was a case, and that's why sometimes you just feel this country is actually a joke. A man who was rustling cows was sending it to his father in another state to be selling. And then security operatives now nab the father, after so many investigations and interrogations. And then the man now went and kidnapped 150 people and said, until you release my father. So security operatives are left with no choice. It's collateral damage. So they had to release the father for him to release those 150 people. Really, it's sad. In as much as these things continue, it's a trend. I don't see end to it in the nearest future, really. But you see, back to what you said about what do we do about having to, it's the issue of so many people have come up, so many committees have been set up. Oh, go into ranching, go into this. But you see, government must show interest in this in order for it to work. In as much as the attention of the government,
and people are tapping from,
it's a different thing to approve something and turn your back against it. The attention is focused on oil. You understand? And don't forget that we were running an agrarian economy back in the days, and all of a sudden, there's a total shift that we felt that area should be left to the poor people. You understand? So let's just do all we can do to just assist them. But until the attention of the government is shifted back to agriculture, we keep having this problem. Because when you believe that it's a business of the nobodies in the society, and that we don't really need to spend that much. But by the time the attention is shifted back to say, look, can we even go back to where we can actually base, because so many predictions about even the oil we're running the economy on, that now, what about if oil got dry today? What about if the whole world stopped using this crude oil we're talking about? What's our fallback plan? The government has to be seen in that direction, and that's going to encourage a lot of people to say, oh, it seems that's where the money is now. You understand? So that's just the way to go. You want to solve any problem in that area, because they're all facing the same issues right now. I mean, you can't run a meaningful thing in your backyard, So the attention of the government has to be shifted to that. There has to be so much talking about it. There has to be so much, so many orientation to be given to people. I wouldn't even mind if government can actually be coming up with free seminars, free workshops at different places.
Yeah, but when you talk about attention of government is shifted to how to ensure people go back to farm, I think this administration has done well in this area, even though the food, the price of food didn't have a corresponding, reduction, because we expect when the food increases, output increases, the price should naturally go down, looking at market forces. But the reverse,
it's because it's not there.
Is the case.
It is a mirage. What you're saying is a mirage. It is an assumption. It is an assumption that was written on paper. Some people were reading it out. If it's on ground,
you remember there are times
it will reflect.
You remember there was a particular time where we shut down our borders.
Yes.
And the foreign foods were not coming, and we were still able to eat the ones we produced here. Yeah. So it worked to an extent.
Well, to what extent? You see, whatever policy you put in place, it's an experiment. If it failed, it means it's not working, or you are not implementing, you are not doing the right thing. So we're both saying the same thing. If it's working, we won't be here still referring to it that, now it's not, the output is not what is expected. It's either some people's attention is taken away, or the people who are supposed to monitor it to the latter refuse to do their job. But if what they saw on paper, their predictions, whatever is policy they put in place, if it's followed to the latter, they should know. There should be a monitoring and evaluation unit that says what we did is actually working. How do we sustain it? You understand? So really, it's as far as I'm concerned. If you are my student, and you, after writing exams, you fail, you fail. You understand? You can give any excuse you want to give, but what it's saying is, take your script, mark it yourself. You understand? It has failed, so go back to the drawing board and come up with something else. And that has to be done as quick as possible, because this is actually just introduction to it.
If you had to give a blueprint, what would it look like?
Look, I'm not even saying what they did is what they come up with. I'm trying to give you a solution now. What my blueprint would be like is what I'm taking.
The government blueprint on how to come out from these challenges.
But my blueprint is very simple. I don't need to bother myself. The blueprint is to first and foremost against all the agricultural policies that have been governments before now. Were they good projects? If it's good, where did they fail? Study that first and foremost, because you see, it's the same problems. We're just coining them, giving them different names. It's not like we brought in a new set of Nigerians or something. No, we're the same people. Policy, you can decide this program we're having now, you can decide to give it another name. Does it change the topics that are going to be discussed? No, the problems are the same. So I wouldn't even bother myself to come up with any blueprint other than say, let us even review all those policies that have been put in place by previous government. What is their actual plan? I mean, what's their intention have been issue? Where did it go wrong? Was it working? Was it that because we came on board and we decided to jettison it so that it will look like, oh, a new government coming up with a new thing? So what do we do from there? Most of those projects are always at the beginning laudable. So you have to know what the problem is. There's no any solution anywhere outside the things that have been recommended, because the problems are the same. So, and if you have the same problem, why do you want to go search for new problems? We already know the problems that have been added to the food insecurity right now. The only ones that are alien to us is the insecurity one. I mean, back in the days when you talk about insecurity, are found in the cities. You understand? Armed robbery and all of that. Those people are, if you want to live a most peaceful life, in those days, go to village. But the story is no longer the same. So we already know what the problems are. Don't bother. Stop all these jamborees, throwing parties in the names of inaugurating different committees, different people to go and study. There is nothing to study. The problem is the same. From time immemorial up till now, the problem is the same. Work on it. That's just the solution, you know, because that's what we do all the time. You set up a committee, they spend billions trying to look for what is the problem. Then they spend another set of billions to now say, oh, now we are coming up with a report which will never be implemented in the long run. Really, it's very simple. You know, Nigerians are gifted. If you gather 10, I mean, recent statistics shows that out of every 10 black intelligent people in diaspora, 5 of them are Nigerians. The rest 5 scattered around Africa. So we have intelligent people. Even our farmers, you go there, you saw laudable things they are doing even on their own. But unfortunately, they are not getting the right incentives. They are not being supported to, you know, produce this thing in large. You mentioned something off camera before this program started, that the borders are porous, yes, and all of that. The borders have always been porous. You understand? But if you don't even feel there are agencies saddled with the responsibility of checking what to be exported per time.
Maybe they are not enough.
You mean the agencies are not?
Yeah, maybe the personnel in the agencies,
or they are not doing their job.
Or they are not enough.
If they are not enough, the heads of those agencies should know that, oh, there's shortage of this and that, and we need more manpower.
There's no allocation to, you know, increase the manpower.
So you now realize that everything we've been saying still boils down to the table of the government.
But if we embrace technology,
yes,
I mean the issues, you know, can be 70-80% solved.
Of course.
So I mean, why are we not embracing technology?
Is it the poor farmer who is an illiterate that will bring up the idea? Somebody is responsible for that, and you know, it's still the government. You understand? Israel, places like Israel, look at their agricultural products. These are lands that are not as fertile as Nigeria. It's technology. So the earlier the government wakes up to say, oh, you don't leave these things in the hands of illiterates, you have to take it over, you understand, and then continue to support them in whatever way they need this support.
Who should not take it? The Ministry of Agriculture, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Finance. You know, there are so many agencies, all of them trying to
do the same thing.
Do the same thing.
Yes, that's what we are known for.
Yes,
that's one of our major
Even
problems.
the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, we hear little from them.
Let me tell you something. Ministry of Agriculture has about the highest number of parastatals under it. There is no area you go around Abuja that you don't have one agency that is under Ministry of Agriculture. You have the green building, you have this, they are all over the place, scattered, that you are wondering, What name is this? Under which ministry is this? It's agriculture. There are thousands of grants that the Minister of Agriculture can access. They are accessing a few. You won't hear about it until there's a problem where you hear EFCC is after one Minister of Agriculture that left, that he accessed social grants and social grants.
Maybe the person did not share.
You understand?
And
so
that's
when you will now hear some of those things.
The anti-graft agency will now come in.
Will not come in. So many grants, international agencies are actually right there to say let's support them so that this crisis will not be there. There are agencies, international agencies, who are saying, oh, we want to eradicate hunger in the world. Billions or trillions of dollars are being earmarked yearly to tackle that. Some of these monies are being accessed by some of these people who are in power, who are saddled with the responsibility of accessing them and now channeling to the right people. No, that won't be done. You understand? It's going into private pockets until we are willing to do the right thing.
Okay, while we wait for the right thing, as we speak, there is high level of malnutrition in many parts of this country. In fact, the last report from UNICEF says about 2.5 million children in the Northeast alone may die if nothing serious is done. So while we are waiting for something to be done to have enough food, and of course the competition of this food to reduce malnutrition, can we import in the meantime?
Well, you see, when you say import, what are we actually importing? Because the major foods that we need are being produced in this country. Things like is it apple they call it? You understand? Are the things that are in the largest quantity that are being imported into Nigeria. You get what I'm saying? But the basic food, we're even talking about, look, it seems this thing hasn't hit Abuja people real hard yet. Because we're talking about basic, let's even tackle the basic foods that people eat on daily basis first and foremost. Because when you talk about importation of food, we're talking about maybe tin tomato, you're talking about all these packaged foods and all of that. Processed foods. The ordinary Nigerian doesn't care about that. He wants to eat in Mama Put's place. The same, let me give you an example. The same corn we were buying the last rainy season for 400 naira, it is now 400 naira.
Because of insecurity.
Because of insecurity.
Many of them could not go back to farm.
You understand? And these are basic foods that people eat every day. You want to eat beans so that you eat beans and bread, the rest you just be drinking water throughout the day. you can't do that anymore, because beans now, if you are eating beans, you must be a rich man. A mudu goes for above 1,000 naira, something they can buy for 300, 400 before. You understand? So let's even talk about these basic ones first. Leave those ones that wants to be imported, let them import individually. Let's tackle the ones that the poor masses can eat, because this is one of the things that is driving people into criminality. I mean, you have 100 naira before you can eat something that will sustain you throughout the day. You just be buying pure water and be topping it. But now you can't do that. What do you expect that man to do? You understand? People want to put food on the table. The same 500 naira that will buy beans and buy maybe 15 naira tomato and cook, and the children will eat throughout the day, for them, it's no longer happening. And the man doesn't earn 1,000 naira a day. So how does it survive? You understand what I'm saying? And when you look at these moodles we're talking about, these are something that just 5 kids will finish in one sitting. So let's even tackle these ones first. Those rich guys, some of them, because of one particular food, they can afford to jet out of this country to have that meal they want and come back.
Yeah, but except because of COVID, jetting out is no longer as easy as it used to be. Yeah, as it used to be, because you must be able to take your COVID test and then show it.
And in some cases, be in isolation for a minimum of 10 days.
So when you consider that, you just want to stay one. But give and take, we must find out ways of addressing this. I know, we discussed behind the camera, that the aide to Mr. President Garba Shehu did say some time ago that there are too much exports, of food from this country to neighboring countries. At that time, we have enough, and you could see many high-capacity vehicle trailers loading and exporting. Is that possible?
if what is impossible?
If that's, I mean, that exportation, is it possible to neighboring countries?
Yeah, it is. You see, it's a very simple
then we have to stop it.
It's a very simple thing, right? If I have my trailer load of tomatoes, for instance, I'll sell it in Nigeria for maybe 200,000. And some other persons are telling me that, no, we'll buy it for you. It will buy it from you. You don't even have to go through the stress of taking it anywhere. We will come to your farm right there, load our trailer for us. We'll give you 300,000 for it. You understand? And the person who is buying it for 300,000 knows that he's getting it for, he's selling it for 600,000 outside the country. So what do you think he will do? There must be some enforcement that can stop people from doing that. Other than that, everybody, it's a natural instinct that you want
but
the
government
biggest.
can equally buy this food and be selling to citizens.
Well, they won't do that. I mean, it should
they
be part
do
of the responsibility of the government. You know, but well, until we see them doing it, that's when we actually can vouch for them. But as far as we know, they won't do that. I just give you an example of the silos that are meant to distribute seedlings to farmers. How many farmers get seedlings yearly? You understand?
And fertilizers.
And fertilizers. The same silo will be there, locked up. Money will be earmarked to restock it. The same one that has been there for the past 6-7 years is still the one there. The monies that have been, allocated for restocking it is going into private pockets, and nobody cares to monitor whether what is being done. You understand? We saw how palliatives, COVID-19 palliatives, people had to now go after lockdown has been declared. People had to now go and start breaking down some places to start bringing out food. And this, if something is wrong with our mentality, some of these food items are things you know that cannot last more than 2-3 months. They will get spoiled. Some people
even got spoiled.
Some people prefer it to be locked up there because of greed. They are still feeling there's a way they can bring it out one day and sell them. We're just sick people.
Or keep eating it gradually.
You understand? How do you finish eating a whole, silo, or a place that is built, government built a place to store food, warehouses and all of that are meant to be given to people for free. So that's just an example to show you the kind of people we are. There's so much greed in the land, and that is a major factor as well.
I must thank you for your time on the program.
Thank
you so much, and we hope that all that you have said will go straight to the relevant stakeholders. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture, it has so many departments, like you have pointed out. Let's see all those departments work. The silos, which of course which you rounded up, we want to see them distributing what is in there. We don't have to just keep them there. And of course, the CBN, the Federal Ministry of Finance, they are also doing some things, to also ensure that farmers do well. But they can only do well when there is security, and which, of course, borders on the fact that our security agencies too needs to also step up and secure land and people. Thank you once again for your time. Mr. Smaila Musa is a public affairs analyst and the Director, Strategy and Programs for Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG.